All right. Welcome back. Wow, this is awesome. So listen, everybody on YouTube, I need you to see he's the man right there. There's our cameras, Skip. And the YouTube cameras right here at this little thing right here. And there he is, the great Charlie Manuel in studio. Skip! My main man.
It's good to be here today, too.
It's great to see you. Yeah. We are so excited. In fact, everybody is thrilled that you're going to be at FanFest next Saturday. It's going to be a great thing. We're doing fireside chat with Charlie. Thanks to our great friends at Landis Block. You're going to be there. Oh, my God. It's going to be so much fun. And listen, no one loves his people like you do.
Oh, I love absolutely. I'm gonna tell you something. If you're a bigger Philly fan than I am, I definitely want to meet you because like I pull for the Phillies and I always will. And I watch them every night and I watch all the minor league games. I got a iPad. I tune in and watch both games at the same time. And I want to see the Phillies go, go back to the playoffs, of course, and actually win another World Series. I think that would be tremendous, and I pull for them very much so.
I know you do. I know how much you love them. And you love the fans here. You love the people here. They respond to you, Skip, man. There's something about you. They love you, man.
Yeah. I think that they definitely fell in love with our clubs, and that goes, there's a lot of things that go into play there. And I think, first of all, they like the product that we put on the field, and they like the personality and characters of our players, and they liked how we played the game. And if you remember, we used to me, like we really played the game right, and I give credit to our players and our talent that we had on the field, and of course our organization at that time. We made some really good moves as far as getting the right kind of chemistry and players on our team. Pat Gillick always he would improve our bench as the season went along, and he'd put us in a position, talent-wise, like to win. So, and I think by winning and also just being able to stay around for 9 or 10 years, I think the fans, started enjoying Charlie.
You kidding me? They love Charlie. In fact, I promise, there's a lot of stories I need you to tell. But today's the start of football season.
Right.
And you were a football player. And you had to hide that you were a football. Tell the story. It's a great story.
What's that?
When you were a kid, they didn't let you play football. You had to hide to play football.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I used to have to hide to get to play. But when I can remember the first football practice I ever went to, and if people know football in high school, high school football that's the only football I ever played. But at the same time, the first live contact that we had was bull in a ring.
Wow! Yes, I can imagine you.
Now listen, I was a 155-pound freshman, and I want to tell you something. And you had to keep your legs churning, and you pick somebody, and he comes running there and hits you. And Anthony, after I got hit about 10 times, I was, I was dead. I never had did that before, and I was getting crushed. And finally, I took my helmet off, like I was going to quit. And I looked at my coach, a guy named Joe Downing, and I kind of walked kind of out of the ring like. He just picked me up and threw me back in there, and he said you ain't quitting. He said, and then I didn't have my helmet on, and they kept running in there. And you know what, Anthony? I turned and I started fighting back.
Did you really? Oh my God, that is great.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that just like it was yesterday. He said, "You're not quitting." He said, "You didn't sign on to quit this."
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And he threw you right back in the ring.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic. I remember you telling me the story that your father didn't let you play football.
Yeah.
And then you would come home late from practice.
Oh, yeah.
And you catch a beating.
Well, my sister went out she was a year younger than me, and she went and she made the cheerleading squad. And so my dad, he had a rule that you had to be home at 8 o'clock, and or like he'd give you a spanking. So therefore, like it was hard for my sister and me to be there because when I played basketball and football, the game didn't start at either 7 or 8 o'clock. So like there's no way that I was ever going to be home at that time. So on Sunday night, like if we play a game like on Tuesday, on Sunday night, I would just tell my dad to give me the whipping then. and now let me tell you something. You know what? He used to whip me too.
Oh my God.
And then finally,
Did he understand football or the game or basketball?
My dad was he was very religious, but at the same time too, I don't really think that he understood football.
Yeah.
And actually really understood sports and basketball and baseball. He's more of a baseball fan than he was anything. But at the same time, like he didn't really he didn't react for me to be playing very good. But and so therefore, like he used to give me a whipping, and finally, like
oh my God,
when I got to be like a junior or senior or something like that, I used to just take my sister's whipping too. I used to tell him, and he would give me a longer one.
Oh, she owed you for that. I remember you used to tell me that you would go down to the river and hit rock.
Yeah.
Like when you were really learning how to hit,
right.
That you would just get your swings in by, just hitting rocks.
When I say hit rocks, and I've heard Jimmy Tomey, and I've heard people say that they hit rocks. No, they didn't. They did not hit rocks like I hit rocks. I had my own feel. I had nobody to play with up here where I lived in Southwest Virginia, except my brothers, and I was the oldest boy. So they were too small to play with me. So there was a lime mines about 30, 40 miles from where I lived, where my grandmother lived. And when my dad would go down there, I would throw these burlap sacks in the car, and I would fill them full of lime and bring them back up and mark my field off. And there
wow! Did you really?
And there was a guy named I want to say Pete Gibson, and he lived right down from us, and he had like a alfalfa field, like for cattle and stuff like that, and hay. And I used to climb over his fence and still put my lines from a ball field over. I'd mark it off and everything. And I'd stand there and hit rocks. And I would stand there and hit rocks left-handed and right-handed.
Did you really?
Yeah. I'll do something. I could hit right-handed, except I couldn't get out of the way of the ball. So
really?
Exactly, right. But now I hit rocks. I want to tell you something. I hit rocks for a long time. I mean, over and over. I would get up sometime at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we had this road, our road was gravel. And I'd take a wheelbarrow down there on the road, and I would fill it up with rocks, and most of them was like those river rocks, hard and flat.
Yeah.
And I'd bring them back up there where I lived, and I'd stand there all day long, really. And my mom used to sometimes bring me sandwiches, out of the house there. And
are you serious?
Yeah. Or like she'd just call me and I'd go eating, but I'd come right back. I would hit rocks all day.
Wow.
Day. I think that definitely helped my eye-hand coordination.
Yeah.
And then later on, our first team I managed was Wisconsin Rapids. If you go back and look, we were like 9-27. Steve Norita was pitching for Appleton that time
that's right.
In that league. And
he's one of the great guys. He worked in the Phillies front office a long time.
Yeah.
Great baseball man. Love Stevie.
Yeah. Now listen, I think he was like 16-4 or 16-2 and something in that league. He tore that league up. But anyway, I was managing that league and we were 9-27. And terrible. We was in last place. And actually after we played games, especially when we was on the road, we'd get in the parking lots at night, and I'd throw rocks to my players.
What?
Now listen, people they could, and this is a true story too. I used to have these guys, and I threw rocks to them, and I'm telling you, and when I think about it, I know by throwing these rocks, and look, they'd hit rocks sometimes that hit me in the head.
Yeah, because all I'm thinking about is, well, it's a genius idea. I want to do that to my kid, but then I'm thinking I'm going to get hit in the line driving the head with a rock.
Right, but now listen, I'm telling you right now. From 9-27, we got Jeff Trout, that's Mike Trout's dad, in the draft, and he hit 352 for us. That's the only player we got in the draft in an A-League. And next to the last day of the season. At one time, we was 27 games out, and we beat Appleton on Sunday and tied them for the for the first place. And then on Monday, we played like the last game of the season. They beat us the last game of the season, ended up being in first place, and that
wow,
second place.
You came back all that way,
right? Yeah.
And you just hit the they just hit the ball.
Yeah,
hit the cover of the ball.
I saw improvement in our team as far as like guys playing. I mean, we couldn't. Hey, listen, we used to hit ground balls to the other side of the field, opposite field, and slow, and they'd come back and high fiving each other. And I'd think to myself, what the hell you high fiving somebody for? I said, what good is that? Hey. But anyway, really, absolutely unreal.
My God! So how big were the rocks? Like a quarter size?
Oh yeah, they were good sized rocks. I mean,
yeah, they probably hurt when you got hit with them.
I took a saw and cut a bat, flatted the bat, cut half of the barrel out of the bat, and and that right there is how they hit them,
Wow, yeah. That's genius, man. That's genius. Well, I know what I'm doing this. I'm going to be doing that on Sunday, man. I'll get my little kid. Come on, Massimo. You hear that, Shooters? Yeah. We're doing that. What do you think, man? We got a shot at this thing, man. We're in it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we got a shot. I think we got 23 games to play. Atlanta's got 24. And when I look at it, we got 9 games on the road, 3 with the Mets, 3 with Atlanta, 3 with Miami. And I think those could end up being the big series between for us the road trip, and we got to definitely have a winning road trip. I would like to see us go 6-9 on that road trip, but at the same time, I think we got a good chance coming home here to really make some hay, and I think at this homestand right here. Definitely is going. It's going to make or break us, and I think we're going to do good. I think our pitching's lined up good. I think Suarez going tonight. I like our
Rangers been pitching
better.
Well.
He's been pitching real good. He's pitched out of the bullpen the first of the year, and actually, when for him to go like the other night when his arm was a little tired, I understand that because he's just being broken in right now as a starter. He's going to be really good. Eventually he's going to be able to eat some innings and go deeper in the game. He's got good poise on the mound. I like. He
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once because it's hard, and you could explain this to the audience that when you stretch a guy out, that's all well and good, but then every pitcher at some point hits a wall. And because you stretched him out later in the year, he's going to hit a little bit of a wall. And I think that's kind of what you were talking about. You're going to get tired a little bit. But once he gets through it, I agree. I think he's a good rotation guy in the future.
Yeah, in baseball, we got a saying, he goes through a dead arm period.
Yep.
And sometimes that's he can miss a start or 2 starts. And with rest and everything like that, he'll come back out and he'll be fine. But at the same time, too, Rangers definitely going to be able to go deeper in the game. His next time out, he might get us through 6, 7, whatever. We'll see. He knows how to pitch.
It's been such a wild year because, it looked very kind of gloomy, and then we get hot against the Nationals, right? And we're on the train, we're having this fun thing, and they're playing great ball. And then there's the lull again, and then bang, back up. It's it's been a pretty wild ride.
Yeah, it seems like, I always like to say, I'm sure you've heard this. I don't call it a season. I call it a journey.
Yeah.
And a lot of things happen on the journey.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get hurt. A lot of people their injuries can hurt you, and things like that. And and you hit periods sometime where you're not hitting, or your pitching is kind of tired, and you go through all these little funks or whatever you want to call them. And I think that you got to really be mentally tough and focused to get through these things. And I think the Phillies they've had to scuffle all year long. I mean, as far as when I see Joe's lineup, sometime I could tell where he's searching, to make sure that he's finding the right kind of lineup and hoping that that's where it's at because he's got injuries. Hoskins hurt us.
Oh, I mean, because listen, you said he was going to have a good year. When we talked earlier in the summer, you went Reese is on, man. Wow, look at him, he's dialed in, and look at the power came back. Right. His approach improved greatly. That's a shame because he had a good year.
Yeah. I look at I still look at Reese as I still look at Reese Hoskins. He showed me this year. He's really showed me. I've seen pitchers knock him down. I've seen him throw balls 100 miles an hour inside, and he started really staying in and getting to the baseball, putting some really good swings on the ball. I've enjoyed watching him hit.
Yeah,
and I've said all along, I think that Reese Hoskins is a 275, 280 hitter with about anywhere from 35, 45 home runs. I used to say that, and I still believe in that. He's really worked real hard. Joe Dillon and him, when in spring training, they definitely did a lot of hard work. Reese has worked real hard to
he got fixed.
Yeah, and also too, his experience in the major leagues. He's more prepared now, and he's I think he has he's focused better. On who himself is. He knows himself, I think, better.
Yeah, the dramatic launch angle, the fact that he's kind of fixed that. Because that's kind of, am I right? That's kind of really what hurt him a lot last year.
Yeah. He's always, ever since I seen him in the minor leagues, he's always had his swing.
Yeah.
Reese Hoskins has his swing, and his swing is a good swing. All you got to do is watch it when he executes it right. And, and I think he's learned a whole lot about himself because, sometimes when you struggle, almost everybody goes through that. I remember Hank Aaron, I want to say it was in 1968. If you go back and look, in that All-Star break, he was hitting like 240, 242. And I asked him why his average was down because we played him in our Double-A team, our Double-A All-Stars played him in a Savannah, and the game got rained out, and we got to talk to him and I asked him, I said, how comes your batting average is down? And he said to me, he says, I'm not hitting balls hard the other way. He says, usually I hit balls hard the other way. Then they'll bring the ball back inside to me.
And then he can get on top of it.
Yeah, and he said, I'm not doing that. Actually, in the end of the season, I want to say he might have hit 250 something that year.
Wow!
But at the same time, too, that just goes to show you. And also, Ted Williams hit what he hit 250 something one year. Ted Williams can.
But you never think, you think he closed his eyes and hit 250. If his eyes are closed.
I'm going to tell you something. The baseball, baseball is a funny game, and when you think you got it figured out, I want you to tell me because you don't. and every game we play is a different game.
Yeah.
And tonight's game is going to be different from last night's, and everything like that. And I think the Phillies in this home stretch, I think that we're going to play good.
I'll tell you, and you know who has just been incredible, and listen, every night when we watch them, I just love I feel privileged to watch the kid play ball, and it's Harper, man. I love that kid. And I know you do. And listen, he's a great player, but just watching him play, man, he loves the game.
Right.
He's a great, and he's had a terrific second half.
Yeah. I like to think to myself when I see Harper play. I think people don't really realize how much I like to see him hit, and I like him just nice and loose, taking what the pitchers give him, and free, and and not over swinging and getting tense and trying too hard, which is natural in our game. But when he I think the less talk and just let Harper play his game. I think if Bryce is not only is he having a great year, but at the same time too, I see some high ceiling for Bryce.
Yeah,
I see a guy that has a chance to do something special.
And you could tell, man, he really wants this playoff spot. He could taste it. You could. He's even he just upped his. He's on that another level now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He gets focused. He can put together some good at bats, especially when he's very focused and he's totally relaxed. And I tell you, before he gets out of the game, you're going to see somebody that's going to put up some big numbers in our ballpark. And when I say big numbers, we're talking
monsters. Yeah,
because he has that kind of power and he's got that kind of stroke.
Yeah. I would be remiss because I know that we're going to be doing Fan Fest and we're doing our thing, but the Tunis loves you, and he's a great baseball guy. And Tunis, I got to give you a question or two for the great Skip.
For the great Skip?
Come on, man. I know.
Put me on the spot, man. I'm nervous here. I'm sweating.
Well, listen, I just want to introduce you to him.
Well,
all right?
how you doing, Charlie?
Good.
I appreciate everything you've done for this city, man. This is awesome. So cool you're going to be here at Fan Fest, too. Be hanging out all day.
That's good. I'll tell you something. I appreciate everything the city's did for me. I think that's pretty good, too.
Hey, listen, they love you, and I can't wait to see the response. I can't wait, actually, to see your face when those people greet you a week from Saturday. Charlie will be there at FanFest 2021, thanks to the great people at Landis Block. It's going to be, I'm going to get chills just watching it.
Yeah. Well, I know I guarantee you I'll be kind of, I don't know if I'll be nervous or not, but I'll be very jittery and, it's kind of like that parade, when we had.
Yeah. That was the best.
People started hollering, Charlie. Actually, Anthony, I say this all the time. I kind of felt like, it's, I didn't know how to handle it. And then all of a sudden, the more they kept hollering, like, yeah, man, yeah.
The best, man. Here he is, the great Skip. All right, brother, listen, we love you. Let's go Phils, and hopefully when we do our fireside chat, we'll be talking about the first place Phillies and getting pumped up, man.
Yeah, I'm all for that and actually getting pumped up. I look at it this way. If we get pumped up, our team will stay pumped up.
That's it, man. Good. That's it. Yeah. You'll be at the game tonight?
I'm going to be at the game tonight.
All right. Get us a win, baby. We love you, Skip. There he is, the great Charlie Manuel. And don't forget, Charlie at Fan Fest, brought to us by Landis Block. We can't wait. It's a week from Saturday, and we're excited. One of the great treasures of our city.